Hello and welcome. Every so often, a car manufacturer introduces a car that's different than other cars available on the market. It stands out. And sometimes it's a hit. Such was the case with Infiniti back in 2003. They released the G35, which had to have been the best seller for them since the brand started. And they also introduced the FX series, the FX35 and the FX45. The 35 having the 3.5 liter V6, same as the G35, and the 45 having the 4.5 liter V8 that was newly engineered for the Q45 and M45. And I remember reading about it when they first came out, and people were impressed. The FX45 would do 0 to 60 in 6.1 seconds for an SUV. Not bad. That was around the time when BMW had introduced the X5 just a few years earlier. Porsche had the Cayenne. There was an influx of sporty SUVs on the market. SUVs that tended more to the sport, and in some cases, such as this, less on the utility. In 2009, they refreshed it, redesigned it, and started with the second generation of the FX series. In 2013, they updated it with the 3.7 liter V6 that was found in the G37 and called it the FX37, which in this form gave it 325 horsepower. Not bad from a naturally aspirated V6. It is missing some of the low-end torque that you might get out of other engines, especially larger displacement or even a V8. However, it likes to rev. I've got a red line of about 7,500. In 2014, Infiniti, for some reason that I do not know, decided to change all the nomenclature of all their line, calling everything with a Q. Q, some number if it was a car, and QX if it was an SUV. This is a 2014 Infiniti QX70 3.7. The 4.5 did not carry over. They introduced a 5 liter V8, and if I'm not mistaken, it was only available for 1 or 2 years. It wasn't a very big seller. Most people preferred the 3.7 as it was more than adequate in regards to power, and it was much better on fuel economy than the V8. Still not very good though. It only takes premium, and we currently average in the household 19 to 20 if we're lucky. In 2017, Infiniti announced they would no longer be producing this car, and the second generation QX50 would replace the previous QX50 and this QX70. I have no idea why they would do such a thing, as the QX50 is now a front-wheel drive based 4-cylinder with a CVT. Quite a step down, and definitely not worth $50,000-$60,000 in my opinion. This was just a solid SUV, sporty SUV that they made, and that still people love to this day. They hold their value quite well, to be honest. The example I'm driving today is our personal household vehicle, and it has over 100,000 miles on it, and trade in, I can still get 14 and a half for it, which is not bad for a 7-year-old car. Behind the magnificent VQ37HR is a not so magnificent, it's not bad, but it's not so magnificent 7-speed automatic that is very eager to upshift constantly, always trying to upshift, always trying to squeeze every little bit of fuel economy out of it. Good news is it does have a Tiptronic mode where you can put it into manual and shift it through the gears as you wish. The Sport package comes with paddle shifters. However, the Sport package also comes with 21-inch wheels, which make the ride unbearably stiff. And it has the technology package, which includes the lane departure warning, guided cruise control, and other little tidbits that tend to go wrong, especially on older technology like this. It also comes standard with navigation. It's definitely somewhat archaic. It's a very old system, but it works, and it's not difficult to use. So it has that going for it.
Weather alert. High wind warning around current location. Weather alert. Gale warning in about 15 miles from current location.
It has an in-dash CD player, which so many cars nowadays don't even have anymore. Power and heated seats. You get cooled seats on the Sport package. Has the Infiniti logo embroidered into the seats, both front seats. And the rear seats have a reclining adjustment. So if you have something in the back that needs a little bit more space, you can move the seats forward a little bit without actually folding them. And that's where the trade-off for the good looks and the handling comes in. This car has less trunk space than some hot hatches. It has barely any room back there to put anything. The roof line cuts and gives it that sporty look, but that also means you don't have a lot of room back there. Even for rear seat occupants, it's quite tight. If you're over 6 foot, you're gonna have to slouch when you sit, and then it gets uncomfortable for long rides. However, if you don't have anything in the back, you can recline the seat and you get a little bit more room that way. It's good looking. It doesn't look like any other SUV out there. It has a very distinctive look, very distinctive characteristic. For some, that's a good thing. Others might not like it as much. Reliability. We've owned this thing for 3.5 years, put 40,000 miles on it. Other than brakes, oil change, and it had new tires when we bought it and they're still good, I don't think I've had to do anything. When we were looking for an SUV for the household, we were looking at some other SUVs out there, namely some of the German ones, and just knowing that at any given time during ownership, you're going to have to spend thousands of dollars in maintenance was a big deterrent, and what led to the decision of buying the QX70. Handling. It handles possibly better than any other SUV in its class. I've driven a few hot X5s. ML55 AMG wasn't as friendly in the corners as this. It's also a little taller, a little narrower. creature comforts. It's got everything you really need, except for a heated steering wheel. I wish they would have put that, but I believe that comes with the sport package. It's got your heated seats. It's got your navigation, your dual climate control, your sunroof, moonroof, your push button start. It's got all the buttons you need on the steering wheel without having too many. You've got your cruise on one side and your radio and voice commands on the other. And it's got a nice steering wheel. It's not too big, it's not too small, and it's just thick enough so you can get a good hold on it, a good grab. And it has the 360 view camera system. So there's a camera in the rear, camera in the front, and cameras on either side under the mirrors, so that when you're parking, you can see all around the car, and you can even switch to the front to help you pull up as closely as possible to the car in front of you. The ride is very stiff. It has firm suspension and it doesn't have a lot of give. And I've driven a couple other ones and they're pretty much spot on. There's a price you pay for the outstanding handling. Fuel economy. It only takes premium. I'm sure there are people out there that'll put regular in it. It's not recommended. And the one time I did, I felt a difference. The car was sluggish and it just wasn't happy. Premium only, and if you're nice, you'll get around 20. If you're not, you can be down in the 15, 16 range. Utility, or the lack thereof more appropriately. It's got hardly any space back there. If you need something that you can throw all kinds of equipment into and move things around, this is not for you. If you just want something that has some ground clearance more than your average car, it's fun to drive, looks good, and it's just you and a couple members in your family, then you're fine. But if you need to be putting lots of things in the back, it's not going to work. It's a good-looking, fun-driving SUV that is heavy on the sport and very light on the utility. All in all, I have no regrets. Aside from the fact that it only takes premium, I have no regrets.